and I don't say this to be hypercritical of Joy Taylor. I don't have harsh opinions of Joy Taylor. She's not someone that I didn't get along with. I basically, for the most part, just kept my distance from Joy Taylor. And I kept my distance, not because I didn't like her, it's just because I knew myself. I know myself.
Bone, joy, and harmony. That is wild.
I know what I'm capable of. And that big rack of hers that she showed off constantly, it's just, and that peanut butter skin with that big rack, like, Jay, keep your distance. That's going to get you into trouble.
Smart man.
And so that's what I did. I kept my distance. Because when you put some woman in a job, talking sports with a bunch of men, it's a job she's not qualified for. She's talking sports with professional athletes, people that did it at the highest level. She's talking sports with me or Colin Cowherd or other people that have really studied sports at a super high level. What does she have to offer other than her sex appeal? And so should we be surprised that she leaned into that?
Absolutely not.
No, we should. They put her in that position.
Yeah,
where
that was her role.
It's the only thing she had to offer, and so she offered it up and got what she wanted. Let's think this through. As if you go into the lawsuit and the things that Nusheen says and the way she says things played out, Joy Taylor was some sort of fill-in talk show host down in Miami who, people in Miami kind of knew who she was. I think she may have had some association with Dan Le Batard or whatever, but she hadn't taken Miami by storm as a radio talk show host. She was a little extra, attractive girl, Jason Taylor's sister. Hey, let's put her on radio. But she hadn't really done anything. But somehow she's qualified to be the host of Undisputed, a debate show between Skip Bayless, who, like him or not, was an accomplished sports journalist for a time, and a Hall of Fame football player in Shannon Sharpe.
Shout out to DEI.
Shannon Sharpe reached the top of the sports industry. Skip Bayless reached the top of the sports media industry. And Joy Taylor had done some radio work down in Miami. What does she have to offer? So how does she get that job? How does she even get that opportunity? Because she's got a big pair of cans, and she's, according to Sheen, she's willing to let people enjoy those big cans of hers. That's how we got here. And it's not Joy Taylor's fault. And I want to go through and just, I'm trying not to disparage Joy Taylor, but the facts are the facts.
Of course it's not her fault. She's not a victim. She's a willing participant. It is beyond refreshing to hear a man articulate what most men are thinking, especially men that are concerned about their livelihood, right? He took an active step to stay away from her. Why? Because of that peanut butter skin and them large-ass cans of hers. That's real. And the reason that was smart is Joy Taylor seems like the exact same type of woman who tries to be one of the boys, but will run to HR screaming and hollering if you try to express interest. Or better yet, file a false sexual harassment lawsuit in order to get revenge.
I can remember, I'm at Fox Sports at the time, and I ran into some friction because I didn't want a woman on a show that I was doing at Fox Sports. And so this is in 2015, 16, at the very beginning. And I can remember they brought Joy Taylor in for a test on the show that I was doing. Yeah, this is at the time when I was going to be initially doing my own show, and Cowherd was doing something else. And just keeping it all the way real, Charlie Dixon wanted her to be involved with my show. And so we brought her in for a test. And I didn't think the test went well. And I let everybody know, hey, I don't think this test went well. I don't want, this isn't the direction I wanted to go. I was trying to play nice and trying to meet them halfway in terms of okay, you guys are insisting on a woman being on this show because that's what everybody wants. And I was like, well, you need to bring a grown-ass woman on the show if it's going to be with me. It can't be at this time. This is 10 years ago. Joy Taylor's probably 25, 26 years old. You're talking about, I got a lot of discipline, but 25-year-old with them big cans and that peanut butter skin who has nothing to say, at some point I'm going to lose respect. And I'm like, well, the only thing she's got to offer is them big cans and that peanut butter skin. So if I got to put up with this, I might as well enjoy them big cans. And so I said, no, I don't want to put myself in that position. And so I can remember, I brought in Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie Bernstein's around my age, a few years younger perhaps. But I was like, she's been around the block. She actually has been involved in sports media for a long time. She might have something of substance to offer. And the test we did with Bonnie Bernstein went much better. And I was like, if we're gonna go, they were adamant, no Bonnie Bernstein.
This is Bonnie Bernstein right here. And with his timeline, she was probably about 45, 46 when this was going on.
When I look back in retrospect, when I say they, I'm talking about Jamie Horowitz. And I don't know if I heard from Charlie Dixon on this, but I certainly heard from Jamie. They were adamant. No Bonnie Bernstein. And when I look back in retrospect, I'm not trying to disparage anybody. I'm just keeping it real. This show is called Fearless. I got to tell you the truth so you can understand these things. When I look back in retrospect, they were like, Bonnie Bernstein, she was 20 years ago. We've had our way with Bonnie Bernstein. We want something fresh and new. And so Bonnie Bernstein, a woman that's pushing 45, 50 at that time, no value, no interest. No one's sexually attracted enough to Bonnie Bernstein at that time to give her the job. And so we didn't do that. I kept holding firm. Next thing you know, me and Cowherd are doing the show together, and Jason McIntyre is going to be our sidekick. And that was a better landing for me than doing the show with a woman. I need, put me in a guy environment, guys talking, that's natural. That's what I thought had the most value.
I was just taking a look on Twitter, and Jason Whitlock is facing backlash now over on Twitter because of these remarks about Joy Taylor, specifically about mentioning her big rack and her peanut butter skim, which he claimed influenced his decision to maintain professional boundaries. I think the irony is that no one comments to Joy Taylor when she puts that huge rack on display, but you make comments to Jason Whitlock for commenting on the huge rack that she puts on display. I go over time and time again, women who post pictures like this up to social media, where generally you can leave them for, which is nothing else but for the streets. Who else was recently chastised for this was Angel Reese, and I can't show the bottom of this photo, but pretty much her entire mammary glands or rack is out in this. Thankfully, the shame finally got to her and she deleted her Instagram account. But these women will continue to get up on their platforms and cry about being sexualized. Meanwhile, they are sexualizing themselves.
Still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm gonna always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are, keep waking up every day, keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident.
Down the road at Fox Sports, Christine Leahy, when Cowherd left the show, Christine Leahy wanted to replace Colin Cowherd. I wasn't for that. I considered it because I like Christine Leahy, and what I wanted in that next position replacing Cowher was someone that was in a much more junior position to me than Colin Cowherd. And so, but Christine Leahy had no interest in that and told me flat out she wanted to do a 50-50 show. And I told Christine Leahy, who I liked, but I told her flat out, I was like, Christine, I can't do a 50-50 show with you. You don't know 50% of what I know. You don't know 20% of what I know. You're a child, an attractive one, but you're just a child. And so I can't do a show that's 50-50 with you. There's some things I could teach you in the junior position, but I would consider it, but 50-50, that's insanity. And that's how I ended up moving to Marcellus Wiley. I could do, in my view, this is just me keeping it real, I could do a 55-45 show with Marcellus Wiley. Guy, played sports at the highest level, very good personality, experienced. And so that's how we ended up with me and Marcellus and Speak for Yourself. I'm going to continue because I want to be crystal clear here. I like Charlie Dixon, the executive that allegedly was sleeping with Joy Taylor, and that's how she got her position, according to Nusheen, in this lawsuit. Just in the interest of transparency and just me keeping it real, when I was at Fox Sports, everybody, I don't know if this is factual, but I know what everybody thought. Everybody, these stories that Nusheen's talking about in this lawsuit, they were widespread and prevalent in 2016. Everybody across Fox Sports thought and gossiped about Joy Taylor and Charlie Dixon. Again, I heard the same talk as everyone else. My name was Bennett. I wasn't in it. But I do know that the women, and I'm going to leave a name out of this. I'm going to leave names out of this. But what's alleged in this lawsuit about Joy Taylor and her sleeping with Charlie Dixon and her telling Nusheen and others that she will control Charlie Dixon and that she will say that he sexually harassed her if he ever gets out of line. That was a common play. That was a common tactic by women in sports media.
Whoa.
What Joy Taylor was, she's more transparent in talking about it than perhaps she should have been, but that was a very common practice. I had a very attractive, big-breasted woman that wanted to work at Fox Sports and another one, I'm not talking about Christine, but another one that wanted to be on Speak for Yourself. And she would ask me out to dinner about once a month and just let me know that in subtle and not so subtle ways, hey, you put me on Speak for Yourself, and these jugs and me could be your little plaything.
He's definitely a titty man.
I just, I value
not the little plaything.
My independence. I value my ability
you don't want to get blackmailed.
Say what I think. I didn't want to give anybody leverage over me.
This should be absolutely terrifying. You know what? Bump me too. That is absolutely dead. You know what we need to do now? #men too. All right? This is going to be the hashtag that we release because it seems to be a common play for women to exact revenge or to get what they want or to blackmail by issuing fake sexual assault allegations. #men too. Let's talk about it.
And this, I've told you guys previous stories about executives asking me, hey, who on the network would you most like to sleep with?
Whoa.
And my thoughts always
trying
were,
to get you
particularly
trapped.
at that time out in Los Angeles, when I was out there from 2010 to 2020, I'm just like, I'm on TV, I make enough money.
Yeah, why would you?
There's enough women out here just
go around.
giving it away.
Right.
Attractive women just giving it away. I don't need
Why would you
to
implicate
be
yourself?
doing anything here on the job that could potentially undermine me.
The number one thing that he's trying to communicate is discipline, eggplant discipline. My G's, please, especially as you gain power, money, wealth, status, whatever it is in your ascension as a man throughout life, the number one thing that you must master outside of emotional control is discipline. Thinking with your correct head in these types of situations probably saved him. Back all those years ago when a young, racked up 25-year-old Joy Taylor came prancing up into the room. There are men out there that would have taken the opportunity to crack cheeks. But what do we talk about? Long-term benefit over short-term outcomes. The short-term outcome of going deep inside those viscous innards should not outweigh the long-term result of a long-lasting career, one of which she could never strip from you.
I didn't want to be in anybody's potential lawsuit. I didn't want Nusheen or anybody, not that I think Nusheen's a bad person, but I didn't want anybody having a lawsuit where they're talking about me. It's unnecessary.
Hey, listen, there ain't no party like a Fox Sports party, apparently. They was up in that thing, choo, choo, chugga, 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 chugga. Yeah, listen. Also, too, what I find so hilarious about this entire conversation is how often you would hear or see clips of Joy Taylor talking about everything that she had to do in order to break into the industry. Now, you hear Jason Whitlock saying that the majority of that is a bunch of bullshit, but he actually goes into further detail.
Here's my deal with Joy Taylor, and my problem with Joy Taylor, if I were to have any problem with Joy Taylor, it's the feminist attitude. It's the hypocrisy. It's the finger wagging. It's the, oh, I've worked so much harder than everybody else and I earned all of this. This is why so many people are celebrating Joy Taylor being exposed and why so many people are like, well, she's just another version of Kamala Harris. And she's another example of DEI.
Yeah.
And it's because she has run around putting herself on a pedestal and wagging her finger at everybody else and talking about all that she's overcome when she's really overcome nothing. And she should have spent all of her time talking to people about how grateful she was to get the opportunities that she's been given and how she jumped in line because of those big cans and peanut butter skin and her willingness, according to Nusheen, to share those big cans and peanut butter skin. But let's play SOT number 1 of Joy Taylor talking about all she's overcome.
Wake up call, same time. How would I not know how hard it is to do the show I work on? You have to constantly reaffirm that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So I would just always say you gotta do twice the work to get half the opportunity. But that, to me, the mentality I've always had on it is that's just gonna make me better. So that's why I'm excellent. Because I had to be. I couldn't be average, I couldn't be okay, I couldn't be late, I couldn't complain, I couldn't say no. Now I do.
Right. That sounds completely different hearing it now. Knowing what we know
The
now.
context, yeah.
Knowing what people knew back then, kept quiet about, that this hairstylist Nusheen has brought to the surface.
All jokes aside, the scariest thing about all of this is Jason Whitlock speaking about how it is a common practice or common tactic of what Joy Taylor is accused of doing, of threatening to sue Charles Dixon off of some false allegations. That should be reason enough for any man to take seriously that they should not be shitting where they eat. But this is the game, and she's playing in it. In the era of DEI, which seems to be, on its way out, or it's reached its apex, rather, is probably a much more accurate statement. And producers wanting to value the quality of a woman's face over the quality of the actual interactions of the sports show. Here's where we are at today. And it seems as though it's not just the incentivization of the male gaze, but then also the incentivizations of a few of these executives. eggplants. Shout out again to Jason Whitlock. I will leave a link to his show down in the description box down below because it is obvious that this brother, I love when he speaks, all right? Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do, man. Go to tourismreviews@gmail.com. Guys, drop your comments down below. What do you guys think now about this situation as more information is beginning to come out? Last but not least, men's self-development community. Link to it down in the description box down below. We got so many things cooking this year. If you guys want to improve your financial education, then this is the place to do it, amongst other things. So click down, beam up, see what's in store, and I'll see you soon. Until next time, you two. Peace.
You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell a man you can't jet. The big the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell a man you can't jet. The big the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. That bars need defibrillation ASAP. Get boxed with a straight gap. I'm reminded of mind state they lack. Every time that they climb, we go way back. All they wanna be is just